Newspapers. Publishers of the Greenwich Post, New Canaan Advertiser, the Darien Times, the Ridgefield Press, the Weston Forum, the Wilton Bulletin, the Reading Pilot, the Lewisboro Ledger, the Monroe Courier, the Eastern Courier, the Trumbull Times, Fairfield Sun, Shelton Herald, the Stratford Star, the Milford Mirror, and the Valley Gazette.
Herson Acorn and HANradio.com. The leader in local news, sports, arts, and entertainment in southwestern Connecticut.
This is your coffee break on HANradio.com.
May 26th, and this is your coffee break live at HANradio.com. I'm Kate Chaplinsky here with John Kovach. We also have Rob Adams, Marty Hersom, Josh Fisher, and our intern Alex Hager, and we're back at City Hall Field in Norwalk, John. It's like we never left.
I'm starting to get very comfortable at first base.
That's fun fact.
We're right here.
Oh, boy.
Right here on the first base line at City Hall Field. We'll bring you Coffee Break, obviously, from here. Nutmeg Sports with Rob at 2, and then Rob will be on the call when the Wilton Warriors face Norwalk in the FCAC baseball quarterfinals. That a 4:30 start. The other games are starting at 4. That game was moved to 4:30 yesterday. And Rob will bring you up to speed on all the playoff action in a little bit.
Great. Well, John, since Don is back at our Shelton studio today, you're going to take a look at the roads for us.
And it's a fine day for baseball, Kate. Sunny, 73. Light breeze, 10 miles an hour, south-southwest wind, 61% humidity. Going to get up into the low 80s today. Cloud over a little bit as the day goes on. Right now, beautiful blue sky. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 61, so it's going to be fairly warm tonight. Tomorrow, chance of morning showers, high of 79. Currently 73 where we are in Norwalk, 78 in Shelton, 79 in Ridgefield. Taking a quick look at the roads. A lot of the earlier delays have cleared, but they were bad today, and I would not be surprised if they're not continuing in pockets here and there. So just be prepared throughout southwestern Connecticut to run into a traffic jam here and there.
Oh, yeah. The commute was rough this morning. I will say that. Well, getting to some of the news, New Haven police say a Yale student stabbed an acquaintance and then jumped to his death from the 9th floor of an apartment building near the university. Authorities were called to the Taft Apartments on College Street at about 5:30 this morning. Police say the suspect stabbed 21-year-old Alexander Mashad and then jumped from the building. Officials say the suspect fell 6 stories onto a 3rd-floor terrace. The name of the suspect is being withheld pending notification of the family. Police say Mashad is in stable condition at Yale New Haven Hospital. Authorities haven't released details of what happened before the stabbing and the jump. Coffee break time is 11:07.
Kate, a blockbuster media deal announced as we come off this holiday weekend. Charter Communications will spend $55.33 billion to acquire Time Warner Cable in a cash and stock deal that instantly creates one of the largest pay television and broadband operators in the United States, according to the Associated Press. As part of the agreement, Charter will also buy Bright House Networks for more than $10 billion. The companies on Tuesday, Time Warner was valued $78.7 billion. Shares of Charter Communications Incorporated were up more than 3% before the markets opened in pre-market trading.
Wow. Thanks, John. Well, Connecticut State Police say there were 2 fatal crashes among 285 accidents that occurred over the holiday weekend. 57 people were also arrested for DUI, and 1,200 were pulled over for speeding. The state police statistics cover the period from Friday just after midnight through Memorial Day at 7 a.m. Monday. John?
Story we put up on the Stratford Star website over the weekend was a Facebook post. A family's distributing flyers reporting that their car was stolen in Stratford Saturday with the family's dog inside. Cookie is described as a 5-year-old English bulldog, super friendly and shy. The car is described as a Toyota Corolla with New York license plate FZK 5880. We've gotten no official word or no updates on that. A $500 reward is being offered. Contact information for the people who are looking for that car and dog can be found at StratfordStar.com.
That's terrible.
Really is. I haven't seen an official report, but I mean, you have to know the dog's in there. I mean,
Yeah, I'm surprised somebody would try to steal a car with a dog in it. I mean,
yeah, the dog might not take kindly to that.
but it sounds like this was a sweet dog. That's too
It's-
bad. I hope they
it's-
find him.
Yeah, I'm a little sad for the family right now, to be honest with you.
Well, in other news, a former employee at Rings End Lumber in Darien faces charges for allegedly using a company credit card to tank up his own vehicle, police said. Darien police said former company worker Kevin Zomek, whose employment was terminated November 4th, turned himself in at police after of a warrant for his arrest. Used his car. Police investigation used in Southwick, Massachusetts. Stills taken from surveillance showed Zomek pumping fuel into his own vehicle. When they interviewed him in March, Zomek told police he'd been employed at the company for about a year and was terminated apparently for attendance reasons. And he said he would use the company card to gas up his own car on occasion. But that was only when the van he'd been assigned to drive was broken down, he claimed. Rings End worked out from May 2014 through January this year, some 3,840 to 5,680 in fraudulent charges was racked up on the company gas card. Some surveillance had been deleted after being stored. Sometimes higher grade fuel than allowed was pumped, or sometimes more fuel than allowed was pumped, complicating the accounting of improper charges. Well, there's more on that story at DarienTimes.com.
Cape Milford police arrested Armandito Ortiz, a 37-year-old Danbury resident, after investigating several complaints regarding fraudulent sales and larcenies involving someone who had done work as an independent contractor for InventHelp. Police said Ortiz was hired as an independent contractor by InventHelp to sell their services to interested clients. Milford police detectives met with several customers who had contact with Ortiz regarding inventions they were seeking assistance in presenting to the industry and being referred to patent attorneys. Police found out that 4 customers had provided Ortiz with $59,050 for services regarding their inventions from 2012 to 2014. A representative of InventHelp assisted Milford police, confirming that Ortiz did not forward the customers' payments to them, and that the contracts he allegedly sold the customers were valued far less than the funds that Ortiz collected from his victims. Upon determining there was a problem with the contracts, customers contacted the company, which cooperated with police and compensated victims with refunds and/or new contracts. On May 24th, Milford police took Ortiz into custody. He's been charged with first-degree larceny. Bond is $250,000. He is scheduled to be arraigned at State Superior Court in Milford today. Anyone who was marketing an invention to InventHelp and had contact with Armandito Ortiz is being asked to contact Milford Police Detective Richard Frawley at 203-783-4808 or email him at atrfrawley, F-R-A-W-L-E-Y, at ci.milford.ct.us. That story is also up at the Milford Mirror website. So if you were marketing an invention through InventHelp and dealt with an Armandito Ortiz, contact Milford Police. They are investigating theft, and they have already charged him with scamming 4 would-be inventors.
All right, thanks, John. You know, John, I have to say the weather is a lot different today in Norwalk than it was when we were here on Friday. I was having to jump in the sun to warm up, but now I'm trying to avoid it.
It was chilly on Friday.
Yes.
You could say Memorial Day is the unofficial start of summer. I would say it's the official, the way it's going today, because right now it's in the 70s and going up 74 degrees, light wind, south-southwest breeze, 10 miles an hour, 60% humidity. Getting up into the low to mid 80s today, partly cloudy, no chance of rain. We're going to play ball at 4:30. Rob will talk about that in a little bit. Tonight, low in the low 60s, partly cloudy. Morning showers tomorrow, 40% chance of rain, high 79. Currently 74 here in Norwalk, 78 in Shelton, 79 in Ridgefield. Taking a look at the roads again, they're reporting delays, and this is an old report that they haven't updated in Trumbull on the Merritt South, at Park Avenue. I would just be anticipating delays around southwestern Connecticut because traffic was exceptionally heavy this morning. We both experienced it coming south on 95. I know the emergency alert sign in Fairfield gave an estimated time of 45 minutes to drive the 8 miles from there to Route 7 in Norwalk.
All right, John. Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to take a look back on this day in history and also have Rob Adams talk sports for a bit. So that is coming up right after this.
Your child has fallen and broken his arm. You need to see an orthopedist fast. Think Coastal Ortho Express in Norwalk. Don't wait hours in the ER. Save a trip and money by going straight to an orthopedic specialist at Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care in Norwalk. No appointment necessary. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, 203-845-2070. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or call 203-845-2070. Fast.
The long winter is finally astern. Bait is invading the harbors, coves, and inlets. Stripers, fluke, and porgies are on the move. In the streams and lakes, trout, smallmouth, largemouth, and walleye have moved out of hibernation. At the dock shop, it's all systems go. And now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, and their newest location at 609 Riverside Avenue in Westport. Bait, tackle, apparel, and of course, all the marine and nautical accessories that they're known for are ready for you at the dock shop. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport. Visit us at dockshop.com.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. And online at stratfordsmile.com.
Alliance.
Nope.
We are an industry leader in coordinating transportation for large events such as corporate road shows, conferences, and special events. Our team of experts understands the dynamics and logistics of high-pressure situations and complex arrangements, all within a rapidly changing environment. Since 1999, we have added charter jets, event management, and personal protection to our range of services. Mention this ad for $25 off your next round-trip reservation. Alliance and you. Together, we can achieve the extraordinary. 855-546-6996 or alliancelimo.com.
Hersom Acorn and HANradio.com.
11:18 on your coffee break, presented by Stratford Orthodontics. John Kovach with you live at City Hall Field in Norwalk. Kate Chaplinsky is going to sit in for Don Eng and take a look back.
Yes, I am. And I won't do my Don Eng impression. I'll just do it as myself.
Please, 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 please.
1647. Elsie Young, hanged in Hartford, becomes the first person executed as a witch in the British American colonies. She had a daughter, Alice Young Beeman, who would be accused of witchcraft in Springfield, Massachusetts some 30 years later. Like many similar cases of witchcraft, Elsie Young was a woman without a son when the accusation was lodged, which implied that she would be eligible to inherit her husband's estate. There is no further record of Young's trial or the specifics of the charge, only that Elsie Young was a woman. Early historical record hints at the possibility that there may have been some sort of epidemic in the town of Windsor in early 1647.
That's fascinating.
That is fascinating.
It did not take much to get you convicted as a
No.
witch back then.
Right. 1783, a great Jubilee Day held in North Stratford, which is now Trumbull, Connecticut, celebrated the end of fighting in the American Revolution. It was one of the first documented celebrations following the War for Independence and continued as Decoration Day and today as Memorial Day.
I never knew of any
I know, a lot of great
celebration
history.
at the
Thanks,
end
Dunning.
of the
A lot of local history.
local history, and
Yeah.
it's great stuff. I never knew of any celebrations at the end of the Revolutionary War.
Well, moving to 1896, Wall Street Journal editor Charles Dow publishes the first edition of the Dow Jones Industrial Average by tracking the closing stock prices of 12 companies, adding up their stock prices and dividing by 12. Dow came up with his average. The first such average appeared in the Wall Street Journal on May 26, 1896. Of the original 12, only General Electric remains part of the average. 1897, Dracula, a novel by the Irish author Bram Stoker, is published. Although Stoker did not invent the vampire, he defined its modern form, and the novel has spawned, as we know, numerous theatrical, film, and television interpretations.
I've never read that. I probably should read
Yeah,
the
actually, I
original.
haven't read Dracula either. 1923, the first 24 Hours of Le Mans was held and has since been run annually in June. The purpose of the original race was to introduce factors such as reliability, durability, and fuel economy to Grand Prix racing, since it is obviously desirable to spend as little time as possible sitting still for repairs or refueling.
An event I've always wanted to go to.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
And 1977. I believe we have a video for this one.
We do. Marty, in 3, 2, 1.
Ripley's Believe It or Not.
The World Trade Center is just part of the skyline. For a young mountain climber named George Willig, however, it was an irresistible challenge.
You are trespassing on private property. It is right there.
In May of 1977, as amazed New Yorkers watched, Willig set out to do what no man had done before. Although police officers attempted to convince him to quit, Willig completed the climb, 110 stories.
1977, toy maker and amateur rock climber George Willig climbs World Trade Center Tower 2. Willig visited the towers a year before the stunt and took measurements for the equipment he would need. He made special clamps that fit into the window washing tracks of the South Tower. As he was climbing, 2 police officers, one a suicide expert, were lowered down in a window washing basket to try to get Willig to give up. And that is going to do it for today's Look Back in History.
Things you're not going to see me do, Department.
No, never.
Oh.
Ooh, even looking at those window washers gives me anxiety.
Yeah, I
Yikes.
don't do well with that. Rob Adams joining us with sports. And, Rob, we're getting kind of accustomed to the friendly confines of City Hall Field.
We are indeed, as we were here on Friday, and we saw a really good baseball game. You know, it wasn't supposed to be so good. It was 8-0 early on, and admittedly off the air, I was looking at my colleagues saying, all right, who picked this game? And it got a lot better after that. All of a sudden, it was 8-2 as Norwalk began to climb back into the game, cutting Darienne's lead to 6. Then it was 9-2. Then it was 9-5. And, well, in the 7th inning, Norwalk came all the way back and tied it up at 9 with one pitch remaining. I mean, it was a 2-strike pitch. And it got tied at 9. Then we went to extras, and the Blue Wave came away with the win. They won 12-9. So that leads us to where we are today as a result, and we are right back here for baseball later on, as we will see the Wilton Warriors coming to town to take on the Norwalk Bears in a pretty good matchup. It's an intriguing matchup. I like it, but it's one of several on the docket today, 3 of which I'm happy to say, and I don't mind saying it, 3 of which will be broadcast, including one by our very own Alex Hager sitting to my left off the air. Anyway, Erica Oshro tossed a complete game 3 hitter while taking part in an offense that produced 15 hits off of 2 Trumbull pitchers to lead second-seeded Darien to a 12-1 victory in softball over number 7 Trumbull Saturday afternoon. Trumbull now 15-6. Had dropped 6 straight against Darien, scratched out a run against Oshro to take a 1-0 lead in the top of the second. But then the senior right-hander was nearly unhittable after that. Darien now 19-2 on the year. They will play Stanford High in today's FCAC semifinals at Sacred Heart University. In baseball, Bunnell High's baseball team used a combination of situational and power hitting to manufacture runs, along with strong pitching, solid defense. They defeated visiting Newtown High 4-1 in the SWC tournament quarterfinal on Saturday afternoon. Bunnell advances to face the 7th seed Stratford in the semis today at 4. From track and field, Trumbull High boys team finished the regular season with 2 big wins over St. Joe's and Brian McMahon, bringing their regular season record to 10-1. It's a busy day of postseason action in the FCAC. We start with the boys and girls track and field championships at Danbury High School at 2 o'clock. Then the boys golf tournament, it's the Holohan tournament at Weeburn Country Club in Darien at 12:30. I've always wondered, John, is there a Weeburn and then a Big Burn? Thank you very much. To the baseball quarterfinals, John left me hanging on that one.
What do I say? What would you like me to say? I can't get you out of that.
I at least got a smile from Kate. I mean,
it was funny.
Anyway.
It was funny. I don't want to carry it any further.
You don't want to take it any farther than that. Baseball quarterfinals today.
They burned people for being a witch for less than that, you know.
Yes, they did, and I might be burned after today. Anyway, baseball quarterfinals, he says. It is number 5 Wilton against number 4 Norwalk. That is here, 4:30 today. Now, it's 4:30 because Wilton gets out of school late. Wilton High School is the latest school to close, so they need that little bit of extra time. If you've always wondered about why the 4:30 starts, that's why when Wilton's involved. Elsewhere, Stanford, the number 8 seed, takes on number 1 Darien. That is at Darien High School at 4 o'clock. Mr. Alex Hager on the call, so go find Wavecast for that one. Number 6 Trinity Catholic taking on number 3 New Canaan. And number 7 Ward against number 2 Staples. And I'm always proud to give a shout out to the good guys over at WWPT. They will have the call on that one. Not that you want to skip what we're doing here at City Hall Field by any stretch of the imagination. Multitask, find a way to listen or watch it all. We've got, semifinals today at Sacred Heart in softball. Number 2 Darien, number 3 Stanford, number 1 St. Joe's, number 4 West Hill, so they go chalk there. Boys lacrosse, the quarterfinals. It was Greenwich surviving over St. Joe's 7-5, Ridgefield 15, Ludlow 3, Darien all over Staples 17-6, and New Canaan with a win over Wilton. As such, the semis are at Brian McMahon High School, number 2 New Canaan against number 3 Darien, number 1 Greenwich against number 4 Ridgefield. John, that sounds familiar. Who's been saying that the top 4 teams would probably be seen at Brian McMahon pretty much all season? That would be us.
Yeah.
So they ran chalk. They've been the best 4 all year.
That was 4 and the rest of the league.
Yeah, exactly. Girls lacrosse semis are at New Canaan High School today, and it's New Canaan taking on Greenwich, the 2-3 matchup, while number 1 Darien takes on number 5 Wilton. The winners were Greenwich over Ludlow 20-11. It was New Canaan 18, Ridgefield 3, Darien 18, Ward 4, and Wilton over Staples 12-10. And the boys tennis semifinals are at the higher seeds today. Number 4 Ludlow at number 1 Staples, number 3 Greenwich at number 2 New Canaan. Baseball here later on. We can only hope it could be even remotely as good as it was on Friday. But it's playoffs today. Playoffs?
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. With sports, I'm Rob Adams. Coffee break time, 11:27.
Thanks, Rob. Well, getting back to some of the news today, illegal trail biking at Hemlock Hills and other violations of Ridgefield's open space land rules are on the rise, according to members of the Conservation Commission there. Trail biking has been a problem in the past, but previous meetings with biking groups have not remedied the situation. Now members of the Ridgefield Conservation Commission are discussing adding signs warning that trails will be closed to bikers due to failure to stay on approved trails. If there is no improvement, the commission may ask the Board of Selectmen for an ordinance banning bikes on town open space, and they may ask for help with enforcement of that. Biking is just the tip of the iceberg, the Ridgefield Press reports. There is also ATV riding and, worse, land reclamation. Ridgefield has the right to fine people $100 a day for violations, but it tries to work out the problems verbally with phone calls and letters before it comes to fines or to involvement from the town attorney. Mountain bikers said there should be a community partnership partnership. Ryan Tucker, president of the Fairfield County chapter of the New England Mountain Bike Association, told the Ridgefield Press that the group's goal is to build the relationship between the Conservation Commission and the trail users through projects on the open space. You can read a lot more about that at theridgefieldpress.com.
So Art Garfunkel, who was Paul Simon's partner in the Simon and Gar, is apparently not feeling groovy about his former partner.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Weeburn? No, go ahead.
In an interview with the British newspaper and website The Telegraph, Garfunkel, who was second billing in Simon and Garfunkel, took a variety of shots at Paul Simon, who is a longtime New Canaan resident, currently on a world tour with co-headliner Sting. Garfunkel also said that he did not get the credit that he deserved for their efforts, comparing it to George Harrison being overshadowed by the Beatles. He maligned Paul McCartney, saying the former Beatle took too much glory. You can read this whole episode at ncadvertiser.com.
Interesting.
Very.
All right.
Well, let's not lose sight of the fact that they did break up.
Right. So obviously something went wrong.
So something did
not
go
yeah.
right.
Well,
move on, guys.
Some more local news. 4 teenage girls have been arrested and a 5th has been taken to the hospital following a fight at a beach near Norwalk. Police were called to Norwalk's Calf Pasture Beach in the afternoon on Memorial Day. They say a fight broke out among a group of girls between the ages of 14 and 16. Officers arrested 4 of the teens and dispersed a crowd gathering around them. Police say a 5th teen was taken to Norwalk Hospital after being punched in the face. The teen is receiving treatment for minor injuries, including swelling. It is not yet known why the fight started, and those involved were not identified due to their ages. John, I think we're due for another look at the roads and weather.
Temperature continues to climb, Kate, up to 76 here, sunny. The winds are dying down, now 8 miles an hour, down from 10. Humidity is dropping. It's going to get up into the low 80s today. Tonight, lows in the low 60s. Tomorrow, chance of morning showers, high in the upper 70s. Taking a look at the roads, they're still filtering out reports about delays clearing, given how jammed the roads were, and there was an accident in Greenwich near the the New York line this morning. That cleared some time ago, but traffic, as Rob Adams told us off the air coming in, you saw a sign that said traffic stopped.
Oh, stopped from basically from the minute you got on 95 at Route 7 all the way down to exit 4. So think about that. You're now dealing with the rest of Norwalk, Darien, Stamford, then part of Greenwich, meaning Riverside, Cos Cob, before you get Freedom again. Oh,
hey, and if you got on in Bridgeport, it's the same thing. It was awful. Ugh.
It was a crawl. So just expect, here's my traffic report for you. Expect delays because it's still clearing out.
Right.
So, 11:32 on your coffee break. Let's take a break and we'll come back with some more news and more
Actually,
updates.
we have an interview that New Canaan's Michael Katarivas got with a police officer there who saved a life last week. So we're going to hear that when we come back.
Looking forward to hearing that.
Lots of characters. Specializing in children's birthday parties with your child's favorite characters. When you want to party hardy, when you need to celebrate, call us, we won't be late. We help create lasting memories for you and your child on their special day. Call us at 203-590-1791 or visit our website at lotsofcharacters.org for more information and to see our party packages. Lots of Characters, 203-590-1791 or online at lotsofcharacters.org.
Located in the heart of picturesque downtown Ridgefield at 13 Governor Street, Colby's is the area's premier retailer for blinds, shades, shutters, and draperies, and is one of the select few Hunter Douglas Gallery dealers. A family-owned and operated company, Colby's experienced staff will work with you in choosing the best treatments for your home or office and offer free measuring and expert installation. Colby's also carries an extensive line of decorative fabrics including Schumacher, Durley, Tebow, and more. Or browse over 400 books in our wallpaper library from famous designers such as Stroheim, Schumacher, Ralph Lauren, Tebow, and York. Take advantage of our Fashion in Motion savings event with savings and rebates on Hunter Douglas shades with PowerRise technology. Colby's of Ridgefield. We are committed to your complete satisfaction. 203-438-8531.
The long winter is finally astern. Bait is invading the harbors, coves, and inlets. Stripers, fluke, and porgies are on the move. In the streams and lakes, trout, smallmouth, largemouth, and walleye have moved out of hibernation. At the dock shop, it's all systems go. And now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, and their newest location at 609 Riverside Avenue in Westport. Bait, tackle, apparel, and of course, all the marine and nautical accessories that they're known for are ready for you at the dock shop. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport. Visit us at dockshop.com.
Now you can keep up with what's happening in Darien with the convenience of the Darien Times Online. Your choice. Print or digital subscription for just $45 a year. Or get the print and digital bundle for just $10 more, $55 a year. To subscribe to the Darien Times, go to hersumsecure.com/CIRC or call the circulation department at 203-894-3388. The Darien Times, now in print and online. Don't miss a single issue. Subscribe today.
You're listening to Hersum Acorn Radio.
Welcome back to your coffee break, presented by Stratford Orthodontics here on HANradio.com, streaming live on the Hersum Acorn Network. John Kovach with Kate Chaplinsky, behind the scenes, Rob Adams, Josh Fisher, Alex Hager, the executive producer, Marty Hersum, and we are set up live again at City Hall Field, also known historically as Malmquist Field here in Norwalk. We'll be with you for Nutmeg Sports from the baselines here at 2 o'clock, and then at 4:30, FCAC quarterfinal baseball as as Norwalk hosts Wilton. And Rob will have more on that later. Kate, a great story out of New Canaan, and we've got an update and a little more information on that.
A story we brought you last week. New Canaan police officer Shane Gibson, working an extra duty assignment during the day last Tuesday, May 19th. He, wanted to earn some extra money, was directing traffic, but he heard over the scanner while he was working that somebody was choking at Sushi 25 restaurant, which was nearby. He ran in and actually ended up saving the person's life. In an exclusive interview with the New Canaan Advertiser, Gibson explained precisely what happened.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. I think you know the reason I called, because I think the town would like to know about, maybe a little bit more detail on what happened. I think it's so great.
Yeah.
Can you basically tell me, just kind of go through it, like where you were and how you heard about it, and I'll have questions as you go.
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
You were off duty, correct?
I was working an extra duty job on Elm Street.
Can I ask what it was?
What is it? Just I think it was over by Chef Louise. I don't know the address off of Chef Louise, but close to across the street from Chef Louise.
Like a security job of some sort?
No, it was a road job. So COMP is working over there and doing a lot of electrical work. So I was just doing traffic control over there.
But you weren't on duty per se?
No, I wasn't on duty per se. I was just doing directing traffic off duty.
I'm just so I know, I don't want to write it wrong. You were working for someone?
I was doing an extra duty job, so technically I was off duty.
Right.
But I was still in my police uniform and police equipment.
So like overtime, maybe?
Overtime. There you go.
I see. Okay, great, cool. All right. So then, you still had like your like radio that would alert you to anything?
Yeah. Yep.
And what did the call come in? What did it say?
It just the call came in as a woman choking at 25 Elm Street.
Right.
And that's all it really came in as.
And you were right there, obviously, correct?
Yeah, I heard the call came in, and started kind of heading that direction. Then I saw two men run out of the restaurant and start waving me down. I just took off sprinting down there.
Okay. So when you got there, what did you see?
Another woman was trying to give the victim the Heimlich.
Uh-huh.
And so it wasn't being successful, so I just got behind her and just started giving her the Heimlich, and luckily enough, I was able to dislodge.
So the woman who was trying it, she couldn't get it done?
No. And
did she have the right technique, do you think?
It looked like she had the right technique. I don't know if she was actually, because it takes a lot of effort to actually perform the Heimlich. It's not something that you see on movies where people just do a little thrust.
Right.
So it's actually, you got to keep going and try to perform. So I just got behind her and just started performing the Heimlich and able to dislodge it.
Was the woman she was aware, right? She was awake or she had passed out or what?
She was conscious, but she was definitely losing oxygen. And I knew the situation it was an immediate situation that needed to get going, so we had to get it dislodged as soon as possible. So
I'm just curious, were you standing or sitting, or how did you approach her from the back?
I was standing first, and then due to the fact that she was losing oxygen, she was actually going down on the ground. So I was standing and then went down to one knee because I was assisting her down on the ground because her legs were going weak.
Right.
I was behind her on one knee and able to.
Wow.
That's when I was able to get the object dislodged. So.
How big a piece of food was it?
I honestly didn't see it. It came up and then she was able to swallow it.
Oh, really? So just as she didn't try it. That just was what happened.
Yeah. So it dislodged and then she swallowed it, and then she started coughing and breathing, and her color became from the bluish color to just normal skin color.
She had been.
All right, so what you heard there was New Canaan Advertiser's Michael Katarivas talking to Officer Shane Gibson, who saved a person's life last week when he was off duty and heard the call that someone was choking. John, have you ever administered the Heimlich maneuver?
No, I've been trained in how to do it, but I've never had to do it.
Right, and as Officer Gibson explained there, somebody else was trying to administer the Heimlich maneuver, but it's not easy.
It requires a degree of force, and it requires a degree of force. It also has to be abrupt. It can't be like a gentle pull or just a hard pull. There has to be a jerk to it, or you're not going to get the thrust of air that you need there. And again, this is one of those documents. I can't imagine how great he felt when her color came back.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's a readily noticeable thing when someone's in danger, when they're losing their color, and then when they get it back. So, great story by him. Great interview. You can read the full thing at ncadvertiser.com.
Right. Well, getting into some other news today. Over the weekend, boaters in Long Island Sound were being warned about beluga whales. After not that they're going to hurt them, but, the boaters should not.
Well, you've got to be careful.
Sounds a little ominous. They're being warned about beluga whales. Well,
Easy there, Ahab.
After some were recently spotted off the coast of Rhode Island, local public safety officials like those in East Lyme and Mystic Aquarium are urging people to be on the lookout. The aquarium has been monitoring the whales since they were first spotted by a boater in Jamestown, Rhode Island earlier this month. It said most recently they were seen in southwest Long Island Sound. It said it mobilized a crew after the boater's video of the whales went viral. The footage appeared to show 3 whales traveling together. News 8 spoke to Janelle Shook of the Mystic Aquarium, and she said they're white, which makes them very easy to spot when they're in the wild, and any wild animal should be considered as such, so there's always going to be some danger there. The cooperation of boaters is important to whale safety, especially during the busy Memorial Day weekend that we just had. She said there have been some reports of whales that are currently out there in the Sound rubbing up against vessels, which is just something they do when they're feeling playful. Just kind of adorable.
Cat, like my cat's coming up and just happened to be able to flip the boat. That's like the second unusual animal reported in the Sound. There were unconfirmed reports on a Facebook site that was tracking, they tag and track great white sharks. of a
Oh,
great
boy.
white in the Sound, but it was never officially confirmed.
Wow.
But some different things popping up.
Yeah. It's very interesting. Well, John, I saw you just taking a look at some of the traffic that's happening. Anything changing out there?
They're still saying delays are clearing. Again, it was all backed up throughout Fairfield County all morning long. So just be prepared for delays wherever you go. I don't even see any work zones set up. I don't know that they've been able to get out and establish those work zones. Taking a look at the weather, it is currently 76 degrees and sunny here in Norwalk. A great day for baseball, which we'll be bringing you later this afternoon and talking to Rob Adams about after this next break. Get up into the low 80s, a little bit of partial cloudiness coming in as the day wears on. Lows in the low 60s tonight. Tomorrow, chance of morning showers. Highs in the upper 70s.
Great. All right. Thanks, John. Well, we're going to take a break, and we're going to be back with Rob Adams and some more local news.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. And online at stratfordsmile.com.
Did you know that taking dance lessons is a great date night idea? Arthur Murray Grand Ballroom of Greenwich is a fabulous place to learn to dance and meet new people. Located at 6 Lewis Street, our studio is staffed with professional instructors ready to teach you salsa, waltz, rumba, hustle, tango. There's a dance for every season. And we are rated #1 on the Knot.com. We are the wedding dance specialists. Take advantage of our new student offer, only $49. Call 203-769-1800. Visit us online at arthurmurraygreenwich.com.
It's easy to advertise on HANradio.com. Reach 263,000 listeners each month with our sports programming and talk programming. Call Marianne Hersom at 203-417-5199.
Hersom Acorn and HANradio.com.
It's 11:45 on your coffee break on HANradio.com and live streaming on the Hersom Acorn Network at HANradio.com/livestream. I'm Kate Chaplinsky with John Kovach, hanging out behind Norwalk City Hall.
It's like another field trip.
It is another field trip. And much warmer today.
It is much warmer today, much more comfortable. Nice light breeze. It's
Yeah.
a summery day. It's like about the time of year that you get that school field trip in, which was the rough equivalent of not doing anything.
And we're going to be on the road all week, really. You're going to have to
Yes.
see where Coffee Break ends up next.
Yeah, I think Rob has some news on where we're going to be later this week, and also on that which we cannot predict, baseball.
Well, Susan, you can't predict. You just can't predict baseball. John Sterling here. Yes, we've got a busy week ahead of us, which is why we're already stir crazy. It's only Tuesday, and we're all going out of our brains. Anyway, no, it's going to be a fun week. We start today with the baseball here, as we've got Wilton coming to town to take on Norwalk at 4:30 in the FCAC baseball quarterfinals. Tomorrow, we will be at the ballpark at Harbor Yard all day. Home of the Bridgeport Bluefish. We'll be there for Coffee Break. We will be there for Nutmeg Sports. We'll have members of the Bluefish on with us throughout the day, so that will be fun as well. That'll set us up for a doubleheader at the ballpark tomorrow in the baseball semifinals. So you're saying, Rob, who's playing? And I'm saying, well, we won't know till the end of today because we've got Stamford and Darien, as he segues like a professional, Trinity at New Canaan, Ward at Staples, and Wilton at Norwalk. The winners move on to the ballpark at Harbor Yard tomorrow. Game 1 will be at 5 o'clock tomorrow at the ballpark at Harbor Yard, so that will be fun as well. Then Thursday, we will go to Sacred Heart University for the FCAC Softball Championship, which might be, here's a segue again, kids, Darien or Stamford or St. Joe's or West Hill, because they are all playing today in the semifinals at Sacred Heart University. Then Friday, we go back to the ballpark at Harbor Yard, and we will have the FCAC Baseball Championship. Friday night at 7:30, Darien Prom to be determined, or at least Darien Prom having an impact on all of that. So, yeah, it is a busy couple of days for sure, and it's going to be a lot of fun to figure it all out. And by Friday night, we will all be smiling from ear to ear with a lot of great broadcasting between now and Friday. So, beyond that, you've got all the lacrosse. You've got the boys and girls track and field championship at Danbury at 2. You've got the boys golf, the Holohan tournament at Weburn Country Club. I will not go to that joke again. It's in Darien. They tee off at 12:30. John and I will not tee off at any time soon over the next. I don't know if I'm going to play again this year. I hope I do.
Well, yeah, there's time. It's only May.
Oh, I know, but I'm like in a 2-year slide right now. I mentioned the softball semifinals in lacrosse. You've got New Canaan and Staples. That is today at Brian McMahon at 5, while you've got Greenwich and Ridgefield. Greenwich only skated by in their quarterfinal win, so Greenwich plays Ridgefield at 7:30. Both are games we've already seen Darien, as in we had on radio, we had a good matchup between Greenwich and Ridgefield. Cardinals did get that win. So those should be good games later on today. At New Canaan High School will be the lacrosse semifinals on the girls' side between New Canaan and Greenwich at 5, and then Darien and Wilton at 7. Finally, the boys' tennis semifinals are at the higher seed, meaning Ludlow at Staples and Greenwich at New Canaan. So a fairly quick look at sports on this Tuesday, and I keep having to tell myself it is Tuesday, John and Kate, but it is indeed, and coming off the fine baseball we saw here on Friday, we hope for more of the same, as Norwalk will host Wilton later today at 4:30. We'll be on the air right after 4:20. And with sports, I'm Rob Adams. Coffee break time, 11:50.
Thanks, Rob. Kate, what else is going on around Connecticut this morning?
Well, John, a 4-year-old child and a teenager were accidentally shot during a shooting in New London on Monday night, according to WFSB. Police said they were caught in the crossfire during an incident on Crystal Avenue there. Just before 10 o'clock, police said they received several 911 calls reporting the incident. When they arrived, they found that the child was grazed, possibly by a bullet, and the 17-year-old was shot in the upper arm. Both injuries were non-life-threatening. A witness told police there were 2 shooters, but they had not been identified. They were allegedly shooting at another person when the 2 victims were struck. Police are still investigating that there in New London, John.
Kate, update on a story you've been following with the Trumbull Times. Trumbull has hired a director of health who will lead the town's new health department starting this summer. First Selectman Tim Herbst announced last week the town's hiring Rhonda Capuana, a Trumbull resident and former health professional with the city of Norwalk. Capuano served as a health education coordinator in Norwalk for 32 years until 2009. She has since been director of the Dr. Robert E. Appleby school-based health centers. Last December, Kate, the town council voted to leave the Trumbull-Monroe Health District. This is, they said, a money saving?
Well, there was some debate about that. There's been minor savings. About $16,000 in the budget this year was saved. But what really came to the forefront was that, because this was presented by First Selectman Tim Herbst to the town council and they approved it, was that, there's not enough local oversight. And there's been, I work with the Trumbull Health District. They've been great. They're really great about getting information out there. But there's been some complaints about some of their regulations and restrictions maybe being pushing business out a little bit, or kind of, not working with the businesses as much as some people would like. So that's kind of at the time blamed the Trumbull-Monroe Health District for being too strict and hurting business. So the town council left the Trumbull-Monroe Health District, and that goes into effect on July 1st. So Trumbull's going to have its new own health department. The town's job posting for the director of health position said it pays about $91,000 a year. So new health department in Trumbull.
That's going to be interesting to see if they have growing pains and can pull that, how that all pulls together.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting story to follow.
A commercial boat clamming in the Long Island Sound found something odd in its net, a license plate that turned out to be stolen. The discovery came to light early Wednesday, May 13th, according to Darien police. A local fisherman reported he'd seen the license plate amid clams, shells, and other items pulled up in the nets, and he took it to the police. Another detail thickens the plot, according to the Darien Times. It seems the plate was stolen from an automobile dealership in Stamford. No information was available on when the plate was stolen. Dealer plates, because they can be placed easily on an unregistered car to make it appear legitimately on the road for transport or a test drive, are often sought by criminals. They're also magnetic, so it's a quicker take. Police noted that clamming boats do not operate close to shore, but some ways out into the sound. They believe the plate may have drifted or been placed or thrown deliberately out in the water where it was found. It is now in the hands of the Stamford Police Department.
Thanks, John. Well, kind of a strange and sad story out of Middletown. A Middletown woman caught on camera stealing from a cemetery was sentenced recently. For months, Jim Reeve, a grieving father, has wanted some closure in this case after Jacqueline Bauer of Middletown turned herself in back in September. After several court appearances, Reeve said he feels the prosecutor listened to him. Apparently, she stole some items from his son's gravesite. She got a 90-day suspended sentence, 1 year probation, 50 hours of community service, and has been told to stay away from the family. Reeve says the excuse she gave for stealing a statue that was later returned was that she lost some loved ones and was having some personal problems. But in court, Reeve said, "I would take all of your problems and more if you could bring back my 19-year-old. Reeve initially installed a camera at the gravesite back in 2007 because some vandals had cracked the headstone.
I'll never be able to grasp that.
Vandalism in a cemetery? Very strange.
Yes. Vandalism and theft from a cemetery, any of those things. So, Bridgeport Mayor Bill Finch joined State Representative Steve Straffstrom, Council members Jose Casco, Melanie Jackson, Melita Feliciano at Pleasure Beach for a Memorial Day celebration. Saturday, Pleasure Beach, the 71-acre barrier island off Long Island Sound that is owned by the city of Bridgeport, opened to the public for its first full summer in 19 years. Water taxis run to the beach from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. weekends in May, 7 days a week beginning in June. We have some video from Saturday's event.
Today we're here with City Council members Staffstrom, Feliciano, Casco, and Jackson. Because it's our first Memorial Day on Pleasure Beach, and we're standing in these beautiful sands, being relaxed by Mother Nature, encouraging everybody to come on out. It's free. The water taxis are running every weekend, and soon they'll be open every day. Well, many things that happen out on the island, everything from Frank Sinatra and Eleanor and Franklin to Boy Scout meetings and union meetings and conventions. It was a wonderful place to come and gather. It's always about 10 degrees cooler out on the beach than it is inland. So it's a good place to come and cool off, have the children run around in the sand, learn about nature, the rare birds and cactus that are out on the island. And when you stand here in the sand here, you get a great feeling because you look back on cranes in the air in the city of Bridgeport, and you really feel that with the opening of the park and the opening of Steel Point and half of our schools being renovated or rebuilt, that things are really on the upswing here. So the island is a great place to come, but it's also symbolic for all of us who worked so hard to get it open. What went into getting this island open was fighting a lot of bureaucracy. You know, everything seems to be protected here except the people. So we wanted to make sure that people could get out on the island. And the amazing thing is, the rare piping plovers that there's so much talk about had not had a successful nest for years until the people came out. And the people cared for the birds, stayed away from the birds, and kept the invasive species away from the birds. And so man and nature are living harmoniously out here in a way that hasn't happened for about 20 years. It's a great place to come, and there's plans for the future. This year we're all excited to announce that there's a walking tour, a historic walking tour that actually tells you the storied past of this island. Stay tuned. Every year we'll be here on Memorial Day, and with the council's help, we'll be building ball fields and picnic pavilions, and there'll be lots of excitement on this island and lots of relaxation as well. I think that Boston, Charleston, South Carolina, and Bridgeport, Connecticut are the only ones that own barrier islands. So this is a treasure to be preserved and protected and enjoyed by everyone. That's why it's free to come out here. We have convenient parking at the end of Central and Seaview, and you take a very short 4 or 5 minute ferry ride out to the island. You can hear the birds, you can watch them fish, and just have the kids a wonderful place to be away from video games and television, and, you know, read a book, take a swim, watch the birds, relax, get in touch with nature. It's a wonderful place to be.
It's State Representative Steve Staffstrom. Pleased to be out here on Pleasure Beach, just reminding people that the beaches are open for the summer, that come and enjoy Bridgeport, come and enjoy our beaches, come and enjoy our parks, come and enjoy a bluefish game or the Spirited Zoo. Bridgeport's a great place to be in the summer. I think it's great just to be able to finally recapture this beach. So few people have been able to enjoy it over the years, thanks to the leadership of Mayor Finch and our federal delegation in Washington for securing money for water taxis, where our citizens are able to enjoy the beach once again. Pleasure Beach is a little slice of Nantucket right here in Bridgeport.
That the scene on Pleasure Beach this weekend as it reopens for its first full summer. Kate, before we wrap this up, any late news?
Yeah, well, I'm just seeing on Twitter that Bridgeport police are investigating an alleged street robbery Monday in front of Stop and Shop on Fairfield Avenue. The Connecticut Post tweeted that, so we'll follow that and see if anything new comes out. But, John, anything change on the roads before?
Delays clear for morning, and just to anticipate that they will still be there.
And I brain locked because I meant to mention this during sports, but big among our plans. So we'll see you then.
And HJNradio.com. The leader in local news, sports, arts, and entertainment in southwestern Connecticut.
Want to get in touch with HAN Radio? You can find us on Twitter at Hersum Radio, on Facebook at Hersum Acorn Radio, or email us at radio@hersumacorn.com.